Researchers have recently uncovered nearly 1,000 previously concealed Maya settlements nestled in the tropical lowlands of what is now northern Guatemala. How did they achieve this remarkable feat? By employing a cutting-edge technology known as LiDAR light detection and ranging. This laser-based method allowed them to scan vast areas from the sky, revealing secrets that have been hidden for centuries. The region in question is extensive, with these ancient structures sprawled across approximately 650 square miles. Astonishingly, these sites were inhabited thousands of years ago. Evidence suggests that the Maya lived in close-knit communities, with at least 417 ancient villages, towns, and cities identified, each with defined boundaries. These settlements were not mere clusters of homes. They formed a complex state resembling a kingdom. The infrastructure of these settlements was impressive, featuring sports courts, civic centers, ceremonial sites, and residential areas. Moreover, they built grand palaces, expansive platforms, dams, pyramids, and intricate causeways. Water management was critical. The Maya constructed reservoirs to collect water, demonstrating their need for organization and specialized labor. Thousands of skilled artisans and workers were essential for erecting such monumental structures. Without the modern technologies we take for granted today, they relied on lime producers, architects, mortar specialists, quarry technicians, and legal enforcers to establish a thriving community. But what makes LiDAR so effective? This innovative scanning system can penetrate dense forests and thick vegetation. As the light pulses bounce off various surfaces, they create a digitally reconstructed map based on the time it takes for the signals to return to the receiver. This technology also revealed agricultural lowlands, suggesting that the Maya were adept in farming practices. So, why did the Maya choose to settle in this challenging region? While the tropical rainforest presented obstacles, it also offered unique resources. The Maya utilized local materials such as limestone for construction, salt, and obsidian volcanic rock that was crucial for toolmaking. They skillfully navigated the landscape, finding enough arable land to establish homes and farms. The lowlands included seasonal swamps, known as bajos, which boasted fertile soil ideal for agriculture. Their settlements were designed to withstand the climatic challenges of heavy rains and droughts, showcasing their resilience and architectural ingenuity. The Maya civilization thrived, reaching its zenith around the 6th century CE. They excelled in pottery, agriculture, writing, mathematics, and calendar making. Among their achievements was the creation of intricate calendar systems, including the calendar round, which spans 365 days. Contrary to popular belief, the Mayan calendar's prediction of December 21, 2012, as the world's end was merely a coincidence tied to the conclusion of a significant cycle known as the Long Count calendar, lasting 5,125 years. The remnants of this remarkable civilization include breathtaking architecture and symbolic artwork. Yet by 900 CE, most of their stone cities lay abandoned. The reasons behind the collapse of the Maya civilization in this area remain shrouded in mystery. Some theories suggest that by the 9th century, they had depleted local resources, making it impossible to sustain their large population. Others propose that conflicts between city-states disrupted their traditional power structures. Additionally, a prolonged drought may have exacerbated these issues. It is likely that a combination of these factors contributed to their decline. Interestingly, one Maya city located on an island managed to survive until the 17th century, long after the rest of the civilization had vanished. Travelers today may recognize this town by its modern name, Flores. Scientists estimate that around 2,000 people inhabited this resilient settlement. The earliest Maya were primarily farmers, cultivating crops such as beans, squash, corn, and cassava. Their diverse agricultural practices led to the creation of hundreds of delectable recipes that have endured through time. Many of these ingredients remain staples in modern Mexican cuisine, including papayas, cacao, avocados, squash, pineapples, and chili peppers. While the Maya primarily practiced a rudimentary form of slash-and-burn agriculture, evidence also indicates that they employed more advanced methods, such as terracing and irrigation, showcasing their ingenuity and adaptability. Even though the Maya primarily engaged in a somewhat rudimentary form of slash-and-burn agriculture, they also demonstrated remarkable sophistication in their farming techniques. Evidence suggests that they utilized advanced methods such as terracing and irrigation. Interestingly, they were passionate chocolate enthusiasts more than 3,500 years ago. It seems the people of Mesoamerica were the first to grasp the effort involved in producing the delectable treat we now know as chocolate, but it was the Maya who elevated it to an art form. Scientists uncovered this fascinating tidbit when they discovered cacao remnants in Mayan pottery. Their unique chocolate concoction was blended with honey, water, cornmeal, and chili peppers, resulting in a spicy, savory hot chocolate beverage that can still be savored today in Mexico and Central America. In addition to their culinary innovations, the Maya also developed a written language and created books crafted from fig tree bark. They meticulously fashioned strips of this bark into what became known as codices, and remarkably, 4 of these ancient books still exist today. Unfortunately, many other codices were lost over time due to the region's humid climate and various human factors. The classic Maya constructed a plethora of palaces and temples, characterized by their stepped pyramid shapes, adorned with intricate inscriptions and reliefs, which have earned them a reputation as some of the most skilled artists in Mesoamerica. Did you know that flat foreheads were considered the pinnacle of beauty among the Maya? They held aesthetics in high regard, and achieving a flat forehead was a primary way to meet their highest standards of beauty. The Maya also enjoyed enhancing their appearances with makeup and distinctive clothing. Furthermore, they were master tattoo artists, pioneering body art practices that many civilizations would later adopt. Rich in cultural beliefs, the Maya had a fascination with mythical creatures, which were known by various names across different cultures. The Maya referred to these beings as alexes. They crafted sculptures of alexes from wood or clay, hiding them in secret forest locations, believing these figures would come to life at night to act as guardians of their land, animals, and crops. The Maya also viewed caves as portals to the underworld. Today, you can explore some of these fascinating caves in the jungles of Quintana Roo and Yucatan, near Cancun, where numerous artifacts left by the Maya have been discovered. They were among the first cultures to harness the power of rubber latex, creating rubber balls for their many intriguing games. By mixing natural latex with other substances, they developed the bouncy balls they played with. Additionally, they constructed impressive steam baths, featuring stone structures reminiscent of modern bathtubs, and heated stone sweat houses. Researchers uncovered these remarkable buildings in El Salvador and Guatemala, where they had been concealed beneath layers of volcanic ash. Now, imagine being 15 years old and feeling bored with video games. Instead, you decide to revisit an old fascination, tracking down lost Mayan cities. You've heard whispers that some ancient civilizations built entire cities based on constellations, so you set out to discover whether this held true for the Maya. Armed with a book detailing the constellations believed in by this civilization, you turn to Google Maps to plot every ancient Mayan city that has been uncovered thus far. To your amazement, you discover that the locations of these cities align remarkably with the brightest stars in the Mayan constellations. As your mapping progresses, you compile a list of over 100 ancient cities. However, you soon notice something peculiar. In a certain area of the Yucatan Peninsula, archaeologists have unearthed 2 Mayan cities, yet the constellation map indicates the presence of 3 stars. Could it be that a long-lost city awaits discovery in this region? At first, this may sound like a fanciful daydream, but the story is entirely true. This intriguing scenario unfolded for a Canadian teenager named William Gator, a science whiz who had even won accolades for his constellation theory. When he identified the missing 3rd city in the 23rd constellation he was investigating, he dove into the depths of the internet, searching for satellite images to help unravel this mystery. William explored images from NASA, JAXA, a Japanese satellite company, and Google Earth, but these were insufficient to solve the puzzle. So, he reached out to a friend at the Canadian Space Agency, who provided him with state-of-the-art satellite imagery. The results were astounding. According to the images, there appeared to be a large square area situated right on the border of Mexico and Belize, which resembled the remnants of a city. Excitedly, William took the images to. Did you know that a young teenager stumbled upon what could be the remnants of a long-lost Mayan city? A fascinating story unfolds along the border of Mexico and Belize, where a vast, square-shaped area caught the eye of a 15-year-old named William. His discovery led him to consult with Dr. Armin Laro, an expert in remote sensing from the University of New Brunswick. Together, they meticulously analyzed the images and concluded that this intriguing site might house up to 30 structures, including a grand pyramid. The scientific and archaeological communities were abuzz with excitement over this astonishing revelation. Could it truly be possible? To understand the significance of this discovery, let's take a step back. The saga of lost Mayan cities began to unravel in the mid-20th century, and since then, remarkable ruins from cities like Tikal, Palenque, and Uxmal have been rediscovered. The Mayans were one of the most prominent pre-Columbian civilizations in the Americas, establishing themselves around 1500 BCE. At their zenith, experts estimate that the Mayan civilization comprised over 40 cities with millions of inhabitants. That's quite a crowd. The cities themselves were remarkable, spanning the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize. The Mayans primarily thrived on agriculture, which led them to develop intricate irrigation systems. Their urban landscapes were adorned with ceremonial structures, pyramids, plazas, and even ballgame courts. The Mayans were not just impressive builders. They were also advanced astronomers. With the technology available to them, they accurately predicted the positions of planets like Venus and Mars and could forecast eclipse dates. William's methodology for uncovering this hidden Mayan city was unconventional but not entirely implausible. Given the Mayans' keen interest in astronomy, it makes sense that their architectural wonders would be aligned with celestial bodies, wouldn't it? They certainly weren't the first to do so. The alignment of the pyramids at Giza with the Orion constellation is well documented. William's curiosity sparked when he pondered why the Mayans chose to construct their cities in seemingly unusual locations, often far from rivers or significant water sources. Instead, cities like Chichen Itza and Tulum were often built on rugged terrain and mountain tops, which left him puzzled. His next revelation led him to connect the dots between these sites and astronomy, prompting him to name the newfound city Mouth of Fire, a title he proudly shares as his nickname. He even earned a merit award for his efforts. However, not everyone in the archaeological community embraced William's theory. Many experts were quick to challenge his findings. Some, like renowned anthropologist and astronomer Anthony Aveni, dismissed William's approach as mere imagination, arguing that the true nature of Mayan constellations remains speculative at best. David Stewart, another Mayanist, suggested that the structures identified in the satellite images were nothing more than an old cornfield. His skepticism was bolstered by a 2021 expedition in the area, which found no evidence of any ancient structures. Yet, it's worth noting that a 15-year-old boy nearly uncovered a lost Mayan city, and that itself is an exhilarating prospect. Interestingly, methods similar to those employed by William are being utilized worldwide to reveal lost civilizations. Space archaeologist Sarah Parcak notes that satellite imagery has played a crucial role in uncovering ancient cities across Egypt and beyond. She spends her days analyzing images for signs of buried ruins, explaining that anything hidden is often obscured by vegetation, soil, sand, or modern developments. To determine what lies beneath dense canopies, she employs infrared technology. For instance, a recent significant discovery in Brazil involved satellite imagery revealing a network of trenches from 200 to 1200 CE. indicating settlements that may have supported around 60,000 people. In this case, the satellite data aligned perfectly with the ground findings, including mounds, ditches, and geoglyphs, echoing the sophisticated construction methods of the ancient Mayans. Advancements in satellite technology have also illuminated previously discredited ancient Mayan cities, such as Tikal, once the heart of the Mayan Empire, nestled deep within the Guatemalan jungle. The ongoing exploration of our planet's past continues to unveil remarkable stories waiting to be discovered. Unveiling the secrets of the ancient Maya, discoveries that change everything. Did you know that recent breakthroughs have illuminated the mysteries of ancient Mayan cities like Tikal, nestled deep in the Guatemalan jungle? Tikal, once believed to be the capital of the Mayan Empire, held a significance comparable to today's London or New York. This sprawling metropolis was adorned with intricate monuments, many of which are thought to have served as the final resting places for kings and chiefs. But here's the astonishing part. Tikal was already known to be vast, yet recent findings suggest it may have been up to 3 times larger than previously estimated. The latest discoveries focus on fortifications at the city's edges, revealing the true extent of this remarkable civilization. And the excitement doesn't stop there. In 2017, researchers unearthed new insights into the reasons behind the Mayan civilization's decline. Imagine this. A team of scientists, exploring a site 62 miles southwest of Tikal, analyzed radiocarbon data from ceramics and archaeological digs, shedding light on this once great civilization's abrupt downfall. The findings indicate that rather than experiencing a sudden collapse, the Maya faced a series of waves characterized by social instability and political turmoil. These crises are believed to have weakened city centers and led to the dispersion of the Mayan population. Now, you might be wondering, is now the perfect time to explore ancient ruins? Picture yourself lost in the heart of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, surrounded by eerie sounds as dusk approaches. The sun sets, and suddenly, you find yourself alone in an uncharted rainforest. Perhaps it wasn't the best idea to seek out El Dorado without a companion, right? As you navigate the underbrush, something catches your eye. Is that stone stairways? This doesn't appear to be a natural formation. You snap a photo, and while you might not have struck gold, you could be on the verge of an incredible discovery. Congratulations! You've stumbled upon Amtun, a long-lost Mayan city concealed 37 miles deep in the jungle. The name itself translates to stone column, a nod to the materials used in constructing pyramids, homes, and even ball courts. Think Europeans invented ball games? Think again. The Maya had a passion for recreational ball games long before. Amtun is just one of many hidden Mayan cities coming to light thanks to modern technology. We'll delve deeper into some of these discoveries shortly. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of Amtun is its location. Surrounded by wetlands, it was strategically built on high ground, covering over 120 acres, equivalent to about 90 football fields. Scientists have uncovered pyramids reaching heights of 49 feet, suggesting that Amtun was a vital social hub between 250 and 1000 CE. This discovery truly alters our understanding of the Mayan civilization. While lost Mayan cities began to emerge in the 19th century, modern technologies like LiDAR imaging have revolutionized archaeology. This cutting-edge method allows researchers to peer through dense forest canopies, minimizing the risk of getting lost in the tropical wilderness, unlike your earlier adventure. LiDAR functions similarly to X-ray technology, emitting laser beams that detect signs of ancient ruins or structures. According to space archaeologist Sarah Parcak, satellite imagery has played a pivotal role in uncovering ancient cities across South America, Egypt, and beyond. Sarah dedicates her days to analyzing imagery for clues about long-lost urban centers. Often, these ruins are shrouded by vegetation, soil, or sand, making them exceptionally difficult to locate. Thanks to these remarkable tools, scientists have also uncovered an extensive network of ancient Mayan causeways that spanned across old territories. Picture these roadways, 130 feet wide and coated in white to assist travelers at night. Recently, researchers unearthed a staggering 110-mile network of roads, believed to predate the earliest known Mayan highways. These roadways, sometimes elevated and designed to traverse swampy landscapes, are being hailed as the world's first superhighways. While there's no record of animal-powered vehicles, it's thought that the Maya navigated this vast network connecting approximately 964 settlements. This intricate web of roads facilitated significant economic and social interactions between Mayan cities, challenging the conventional narrative that the pre-classic period, dating back to 2000 BCE, was merely composed of small tribal communities. Imagine the Maya, not as isolated tribes, but as a sophisticated civilization interconnected through an extensive infrastructure. The revelations continue to unfold, painting a richer picture of the ancient world and the remarkable people who once thrived within it. Stay tuned, because the journey into the past has only just begun. Social interactions among Mayan cities. A new perspective. Did you know that the conventional view of the Mayan preclassic period, which dates back to 2000 BCE, as merely a collection of small tribal settlements has been fundamentally challenged? Imagine the sheer manpower and engineering prowess required to construct monumental structures like their impressive white highways. Scientists theorize that these causeways were built in much the same way as their iconic pyramids, utilizing a blend of mud and quarry stone, layered with limestone to achieve that striking white appearance. Isn't that fascinating? But let's take a moment to step back and grasp the broader context. The Mayans were among the most prominent pre-Columbian civilizations in the Americas. For centuries, experts have estimated that at its zenith, the Mayan civilization comprised over 40 cities, housing millions of individuals. That's quite a significant population. Their civilization stretched across Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula and Guatemala, thriving primarily through agriculture. However, the Yucatan Peninsula posed considerable challenges for farming. To tackle this, the Mayans developed an intricate irrigation system that supported their agricultural endeavors. In their cities, they constructed a variety of ceremonial buildings, pyramids, and plazas. While the Mayans certainly excelled in pyramid construction, they also established a sophisticated astronomical system. With their ancient technologies, they could predict the positions of planets such as Venus and Mars, as well as the exact dates of eclipses. If you've ever encountered ancient Mayan cities, you might be familiar with Tikal, nestled deep within the Guatemalan jungle. Tikal is believed to have served as the capital of the ancient Mayan conquest state. At its peak, it was as significant as major cities like London or New York today. The site is home to a series of intricate monuments, including the North Acropolis, one of Tikal's oldest complexes constructed entirely by human hands around 350 BCE. This impressive site was the final resting place of kings and chiefs, featuring monuments that soar up to 200 feet high. In its heyday, the step pyramid temples were adorned in vibrant red, a color the Mayans cherished. Today, they stand as limestone relics of a bygone era. Then we have Chichen Itza, which boasts one of the best-preserved pyramids on Earth. Located in Mexico's Yucatan state, this Mayan city is over 1,500 years old, and at its peak, it was home to around 35,000 people. The site spans 4 square miles, with El Castillo being its crowning glory. This remarkable step-like temple rises 80 feet above the ground and features 91 steps on each of its 4 sides, culminating in a total of 365 steps, mirroring the number of days in a solar year. It's clear that the Mayans were a remarkable civilization, yet the mystery of their decline remains perplexing. What could have led to the downfall of this mighty empire? Was it a drought? In 2017, new research brought intriguing findings to light. By analyzing radiocarbon data from ceramics and archaeological excavations at a site near Tikal, scientists revealed that the Mayans likely didn't experience a sudden collapse but rather succumbed to waves of social instability and political turmoil. These crises are believed to have weakened their city centers and triggered the dispersion of their population. Pinpointing the precise causes of their decline is challenging, but recent discoveries are illuminating the past, not only of the Mayan civilization but also of other long-lost cultures in South America. A significant recent finding in Brazil, made possible by satellite imaging technology, has left scientists astounded. Images from near the Xingu River in the Amazon suggest that vast cities, potentially home to millions of people, existed in the jungle long before modern civilization emerged. If that doesn't astonish you, I don't know what will. Moreover, satellite imagery has uncovered a network of trenches dating back to 200 CE in the Bolivian Amazon. These findings imply settlements capable of supporting approximately 60,000 individuals, right in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. When researchers from the University of Florida ventured into the field to verify the satellite data, they were taken aback to discover several mounds accompanied by ditches and geoglyphs. Archaeologists also unearthed remnants of meticulously constructed walls centered around plazas, reminiscent of the architectural style of the ancient Mayans. Imagine a landscape where you could journey over 1,800 meters westward, all while remaining beneath a vast tree canopy. This region serves as a sanctuary for an astonishing diversity of life, hosting about 10% of the world's species. Historically, it has been perceived as an untouched paradise, a glimpse into how the world existed before human expansion altered the landscape. From time immemorial, the Amazon region has been viewed as a pristine, untouched paradise, a glimpse into what our world looked like before humanity spread like wildfire, wreaking havoc across continents. But what if I told you that this vast jungle is concealing some remarkable secrets? For centuries, whispers of lost cities hidden deep within its verdant embrace have captivated imaginations. Yes, I'm talking about El Dorado, the legendary city of gold that drove Spanish explorers to madness as they ventured into uncharted territories, never to return. Even into the 20th century, adventurers like Percy Fawcett sought the fabled city of Z, disappearing into the dense jungle and leaving us all in suspense. Surprisingly, scientists have unearthed evidence that ancient cities did indeed thrive in the Amazon. But how did they manage to locate these hidden ruins within such a thick and remote forest? The answer lies in an extraordinary technology known as LiDAR. Picture this: a helicopter soaring through the sky, using light-based remote sensing to digitally peel away the dense canopy, exposing the remains of a vast urban settlement in the Bolivian Amazon, specifically around the area of Llanos de Muz. This location was once the heart of the Sarab culture, flourishing from 500 to 1400 CE. They constructed impressive urban centers complete with monumental platforms and pyramid-like structures, along with raised causeways connecting various suburban settlements spread over miles. These ancient inhabitants were astonishingly advanced for their time, boasting a sophisticated system for water control and distribution, featuring reservoirs and canals. So, while the Amazon rainforest might have been seen as a wilderness, it was, in fact, heavily populated and urbanized long before recorded history began. Yet, many have overlooked the architectural marvels lying in wait, deserving of exploration. Researchers predict that in the next decade or two, we will uncover numerous additional cities, some potentially larger than those we currently know. Anthropologist Michael Heckenberger from the University of Florida emphasizes that we have observed similar settlement features, like mounds and causeways, in other regions of ancient Amazonia. This groundbreaking research unveils a mind-boggling truth. Previous interpretations of urbanism in the Amazon depicted clusters of villages connected together, lacking the grand architectural centers we typically associate with urban life. However, Llanos de Muz flips this narrative on its head, showcasing genuine urbanization within the Amazonian landscape. Within the Llanos de Muz region, a multitude of ancient settlements has been discovered, home to the Carabi people, who engaged in hunting, fishing, and cultivating maize. Imagine hundreds of sites sprawled across 1,700 square miles, hidden deep within the tropical forest, creating a challenge akin to finding a needle in a haystack. But a dedicated team of archaeologists refused to let these obstacles deter them. They took to the skies, employing cutting-edge LiDAR mapping technology. Picture an aircraft gliding over the terrain, emitting infrared beams that strike the ground and bounce back, painting a detailed map from above. By utilizing advanced computer software, these brilliant scientists stripped away the trees from the images, revealing the Earth's surface and the ancient archaeological treasures concealed beneath. And what did they discover? An astonishing 26 unique sites, including 11 that had remained undiscovered until now. Among these 26 remarkable sites are Landivar and Kota, massive urban centers that were already known, but now revealed to cover an impressive 1.5 square miles each. These centers are encircled by mounds and rampart fortifications, resembling something out of a medieval castle. Inside, there's a treasure trove of astonishing features: artificial terraces, enormous earthworks, and pyramids soaring over 70 feet tall. Remarkably, all these grand structures face north-northwest, hinting at a possible alignment with cosmic forces, an intriguing worldview shared by other ancient Amazonian sites. Now, let's take a bird's-eye view and visualize these two centers in their full splendor, interconnected through a network of causeways, much like spokes on a wheel. Canals extend from these urban hubs, linking rivers and lagoons like San Jose, suggesting they had an advanced water distribution system. These ancient civilizations dramatically reshaped the landscape, driven by their unique cosmological beliefs. However, the only downside is that their impressive achievements were largely forgotten over time. Laguna San Jose, an extraordinary place, where ancient civilizations established their own intricate water delivery systems. These remarkable individuals dramatically transformed their environment, guided by a fascinating cosmology. However, there's a catch. The impressive structures they built were primarily made of mud brick. While they must have looked stunning in their time, they lacked the durability of the limestone used by the Maya. The fate of the Sarai and their settlements remains a compelling mystery. Archaeological findings suggest that they vanished around 1400 CE, long before European explorers set foot in the Amazon. One prevailing theory points to a catastrophic drought that devastated the region. Researchers have uncovered substantial water reservoirs at various sites, which is intriguing, considering how the Amazon is typically known for its abundant rainfall. Were these reservoirs intended for drinking, agriculture, or perhaps for nurturing fish and turtles? It's worth noting that severe droughts have occurred in the past, and sometimes it only takes a few failed harvests to drive a community to seek greener pastures. Now, here's an intriguing twist. These ancient communities settled in the very same area where Percy Fawcett, the explorer we mentioned earlier, mysteriously disappeared while searching for the legendary city of Z. Could he have been onto something all along? Fawcett stumbled upon an intriguing document known as Manuscript 52 at the National Library of Brazil. Believed to be penned by a Portuguese explorer, this document recounts a discovery made in 1753 by a group of explorers who found the remnants of an ancient city. It featured arches, a statue, and even a temple adorned with hieroglyphs. However, the manuscript kept the city's location under wraps, leaving Fawcett excited yet frustrated in his quest to find it, which became a secondary mission alongside his primary goal of uncovering the elusive city of Z. At one point, Fawcett returned to Britain for some errands, but in 1920, he resolved to give his search another try. He set out on a personal expedition to locate the city but was unsuccessful. Just 5 years later, Fawcett, along with his son Jack and their friend Raleigh Rimmel, vanished into the depths of the Amazon jungle. Some researchers speculate that Fawcett may have been influenced by insights from indigenous locals about a place called Kiku. Interestingly, Kiku was discovered by Westerners in 1925, revealing the ruins of around 20 towns and villages, which may have once housed up to 50,000 people. To add another layer, the discovery of other earthworks in southern Amazonia reinforces Fawcett's theories. In 2005, an American journalist published an article about Fawcett's wild expeditions, dubbing it the Lost City of Z. Catchy, right? This article later evolved into a book in 2009, and by 2016, the talented writer-director James Gray brought it to life on the big screen. However, there's a somber note to this tale. The Amazon region is undergoing rapid transformation. Farming, ranching, and energy production are reshaping this incredible landscape, and those untouched areas housing ancient relics won't remain untouched for long. It's a race against time to document and preserve what's left of our history before it fades into oblivion. Now let's switch gears. Imagine yourself all geared up. Your beige parka is on, your chisel is packed, and your overnight flight to Saudi Arabia is booked. What could this mean? Sadly, it doesn't mean you've landed a role in the Dune remake. Instead, it signals your readiness to explore the world's largest desert regions, hoping to uncover prehistoric secrets about our ancestors. Let's clear up a common misconception. If you think deserts are mere empty expanses, think again. While they may stretch endlessly with sand, they are rich with history. Before humans established permanent settlements, our ancestors roamed the earth, searching for food, water, and shelter. To survive, they devised remarkable innovations, including one fascinating discovery made in the Saudi Arabian desert. Over the years, scientists have debated the origins and functions of massive structures like these. It turns out our Neolithic ancestors were far more ingenious than we often realize. They didn't spend all their time around the fire-crafting stone tools. They were also honing their architectural skills. These large stone formations are referred to as desert kites because, from above, they resemble kites. Archaeologists have largely agreed that these kites were designed to lure animals, making it easier for our ancestors to secure their food supply for the week. But that's not the whole story. Look closely at these monolithic structures. They suggest that our ancestors sketched out their plans on rocks before constructing them on the ground, much like modern architects do. Desert kites could stretch for miles, indicating that careful planning preceded their construction. Surprisingly, these kites were built long before iconic sites like Stonehenge, dating back around 7,000 to 9,000 years ago. In the last decade, scientists have made significant strides in identifying these incredible remnants of our past. One of the most astonishing aspects of ancient history is that these remarkable kites were constructed even before the likes of Stonehenge were imagined, dating back approximately 7,000 to 9,000 years ago. Over the past decade, researchers have discovered more than 6,000 desert kites scattered across the Middle East and parts of West and Central Asia. If you find it hard to believe, just think about the challenge of building something on such a grand scale without the aid of modern drones. It's quite an impressive feat, and it seems that the deserts of Saudi Arabia hold even more secrets waiting to be unveiled. In fact, scientists have uncovered mysterious stone structures that predate the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Let's be honest. The idea of transporting heavy stones to construct a pyramid without contemporary technology seems utterly absurd. How did they do it? Now, let's take a journey back about 2,000 years into the past and envision the humans who erected similarly colossal structures in remote regions. Consider these intriguing edifices known as maddles. These rectangular shapes, composed of stacked stones, can be found across an astonishing 77,000 square miles. Some archaeologists speculate that these monuments might have served ritualistic purposes, perhaps as pathways for processions where people traversed from one end of the plateau to the other. Sounds fascinating, doesn't it? Shifting our focus, let's delve into the iconic Sahara Desert. Isn't the landscape breathtaking? You're on the verge of unveiling an ancient riddle that took years of research to unravel. Here's a fun fact. The Sahara is the largest hot desert in the world, sprawling over 3 million square miles. Imagine fitting 1,000 times the area of Hawaii into that expanse. We refer to it as the largest hot desert because, technically, Antarctica holds the title for the largest desert overall, but we all know that frigid temperatures are hardly what we picture when we think of a desert. Deep within the Sahara, near the Algerian town of Fougera, something peculiar has been uncovered. For decades, tiny dots have appeared on Google Earth images, sparking curiosity and confusion. While some scientists conjectured that these circles were the result of oil operations, others proposed they might be ancient water wells, known as faugeras, stretching for miles in a straight line. What's truly perplexing is that these formations are situated far from any towns, roads, or signs of human activity. So what could their purpose be? If you had to guess, what would you say? Let's step into the shoes of our ancestors for a moment. Picture yourself as a nomadic hunter-gatherer in a desert environment. Your days are spent under the scorching sun, perhaps counting grains of sand, but survival is the priority. How do you procure water in such an arid landscape? Relying on the occasional oasis seems rather precarious, doesn't it? This necessity led the North African people to devise the innovative faugera, a 500-year-old irrigation system. Locals would dig deep wells in elevated areas, reaching down to underground water sources, then create parallel shafts at regular intervals so that water could flow from the main well into all the shafts, nourishing vast areas. Travelers could stop by these shafts for a drink, and communities could raise livestock and cultivate crops. Ingenious, right? However, as much as these holes resemble faugera, a bit of investigation reveals they are distinctly different. The shafts in question are aligned in a straight line rather than in the circular formation typical of faugera. This begs the question: could these desert holes be linked to oil exploration in the region? Let's take a closer look at these formations through Google Earth. They may appear small from above, but in reality, they are vast depressions. The key to understanding their true nature lies hidden beneath the sand. If you were among the researchers initially piecing together this mystery, you would have stumbled upon something unexpected buried in the sand. Old dynamite and vintage sardine cans. When scientists connected the dots, they discovered that these sardine cans were models from the 1950s and 1960s, revealing that teams from those decades camped out while surveying the area for oil. As for the dynamite, it was employed in seismic surveying, a traditional method used to detect oil and gas reserves beneath the Earth's surface. Staying in North Africa, we encounter another intriguing desert enigma worth exploring. Near the city of Tite, southwest of Algeria's capital, lie 13 unusual monuments known as Jadar. Yes, I can see how that might sound like a reference from Star Wars. These pyramid-like structures, as far as scientists know, served as burial sites for the inhabitants of the region. Can you guess who these people were? Most likely, they were the Berber nomads. Did you know that pyramid-like structures, often found in arid regions, served as final resting places for ancient inhabitants? You might be surprised to learn that these were most likely built by the Berber nomads. Dating back to between the 4th and 7th centuries CE, these fascinating monuments hold many secrets. As archaeologists began to delve deeper into their interiors, they uncovered vast underground vaults, intricate chambers, and a maze of corridors leading to over 20 compartments. Just imagine spending up to 2 hours wandering through these ancient spaces. Our ancestors even adorned the walls with vivid depictions of animals and hunting scenes. While the precise purpose of these jars remains a mystery, it's clear that our world's deserts are brimming with untold stories waiting to be discovered. Join me next time, and we'll continue our thrilling explorations. Before diving into the reasons behind the global presence of pyramids, let's spotlight some remarkable examples. Let's begin with the awe-inspiring Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico. The ancient inhabitants truly knew how to craft a city. Their meticulously planned urban center stretched over an impressive 7 square miles and featured several pyramids. Among them, the Pyramid of the Sun stands out as the most monumental, constructed around 100 CE. This colossal structure is one of the largest of its kind in the entire Western Hemisphere, towering at 216 feet above the ground. If you ever find yourself wandering this ancient city, you simply cannot miss the Pyramid of the Sun, prominently located on the eastern side of the Avenue of the Dead, the city's main thoroughfare. To create this architectural marvel, approximately 1 million cubic yards of material were utilized, including a unique type of red volcanic rock called hutantal. Isn't that impressive? While much remains unknown about the civilization that erected the Pyramid of the Sun and its intended purpose, archaeologists speculate there was once a temple atop it. In the 1970s, explorers uncovered a network of fascinating tunnels and chambers beneath the pyramid. Fast forward to 2011, when they stumbled upon a hidden trove of clay pots, obsidian fragments, animal bones, human figurines, and even a mask. Just think about the other secrets this ancient structure might still be concealing. If you're brave enough to climb the pyramid, be prepared to navigate 248 uneven steps on the west side. Watch your step. Now let's hop over to Sudan, which boasts its own set of pyramids. While the Nubian pyramids may not rival the size of their Egyptian counterparts, there are roughly 200 of them scattered across the region. These ancient marvels served as tombs for the pharaohs of the Meroitic kingdom, who ruled over Egypt from Nubia to the Mediterranean Sea for nearly a millennium. Constructed from granite and reddish sandstone, these structures are a testament to the architectural prowess of their time. Interestingly, did you know that Sudan is home to more ancient pyramids than Egypt? The Kushite pyramids reflect the indigenous architectural styles and burial customs of Nubia's Napata and Meroe kingdoms, heavily influenced by ancient Egyptian traditions. Among these pyramids lies the burial site of over 40 queens and kings, an extensive Nubian pyramid site indeed. The tomb walls reveal stunning depictions of mummified royals adorned in intricate jewelry, alongside wooden caskets containing bows, quivers of arrows, and various artifacts that highlight the Meroitic connections and trade with both Egyptian and Greek civilizations. So, if you're seeking ancient tombs to explore, consider bypassing the crowds in Egypt and venturing down to Sudan for a more intimate experience. Let's now take a flight to Iraq to discover more pyramids. Here, we encounter ziggurats, which feature distinct tiered layers and temples, rather than a smooth exterior. These impressive structures, resembling giant cakes, were designed for significant rituals and activities. Scattered throughout Iraq and Iran, ziggurats stand as monumental testaments to the ingenuity and skill of their builders. One of the most magnificent examples is the ziggurat at Ur, a massive rectangular pyramid soaring between 70 and 100 feet tall, complete with 3 levels of terraces and a temple crowning its peak. Can you imagine the sheer number of baked bricks required for its construction? A staggering 720,000 bricks were needed just for its lower portion. This particular ziggurat was built for the Sumerian king Ur-Nammu, and like many ancient structures, it has weathered the test of time. Thankfully, the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II and modern archaeologists worked diligently to restore it in the 6th and 20th centuries, respectively. Now, you can visit this remarkable site near the Tel El Air Base. The ziggurat at Ur was constructed around 2110 BCE, dedicated to the moon deity Nana. It was the tallest structure in the city, visible for miles around, akin to a medieval cathedral spire of its era. People flocked to this sacred site to offer their agricultural surplus, collect food allotments, and seek spiritual fulfillment. Unfortunately, the Nana temple at the apex of the ziggurat did not endure, but we do have remnants of blue-glazed bricks that may have adorned its facade. The lower sections of the ziggurat are equally fascinating, showcasing architectural ingenuity that has withstood the sands of time. Each layer tells a story of a civilization that thrived, leaving behind incredible structures that continue to captivate our imaginations. So, are you ready to explore these ancient wonders with me? The journey has only just begun. The marvel of pyramids, a journey through time and space. Did you know that some blue-glazed bricks may have once adorned the magnificent structures of ancient civilizations? While many of these decorations have faded, The lower sections of the ziggurats still stand as a testament to ingenuity. Remarkably, the architects of these temples incorporated holes in the baked exteriors to allow moisture to evaporate from within. Now, as we delve deeper into the world of pyramids, it's fascinating to note that these structures are not limited to one region. They can be found across the globe. Egypt alone boasts over 100 pyramids, while Sudan holds a staggering number, double that. Additionally, countless more are scattered throughout the Middle East and China. However, the Americas take the crown with the highest total of pyramids, surpassing the rest of the world combined. These remarkable structures, the landscapes of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Let's explore the evolution of pyramids throughout history. The oldest pyramid, found in Egypt, is known as a step pyramid, constructed by stacking one layer of stone atop another. Pharaoh Sneferu is credited with perfecting the pyramid shape we recognize today. During his impressive 45-year reign, he embarked on building 3 pyramids, overcoming 2 failed attempts before achieving success with the Red Pyramid, hailed as the first true pyramid. His son, Khufu, took this legacy further, constructing the Great Pyramid of Giza, which dominated the skyline as the tallest man-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Interestingly, Latin American pyramids share similarities with early Egyptian step pyramids, yet they were developed independently without any cross-cultural exchanges. The pyramids in Sudan, built around 700 BCE, are narrower but still impressive. This raises an intriguing question. How did civilizations as diverse as the Aztecs, Mayans, and ancient Egyptians manage to construct these monumental structures without communicating? Despite their vast cultural differences, they all seem to agree on one thing. Pyramids were undeniably captivating. Step pyramids emerged worldwide as the most practical and stable method for erecting large structures without the aid of lighter materials like wood or metal. The triangular shape with a square base proves to be the optimal design for stability. In contrast, a cubic structure would necessitate more materials for less height. When it comes to pyramid designs, Egyptian pyramids typically feature smooth, angled sides culminating in a pointed apex. On the other hand, the Aztecs and Mayans opted for a tiered appearance, resembling a cake with steps leading up to a flat platform. Each culture added its unique flair, employing different materials, construction techniques, and slope angles. While influences were undoubtedly shared at times, these civilizations also forged their paths independently. The smooth, angled sides of Egyptian pyramids were intentionally crafted to aid the pharaoh's soul in ascending to the heavens. Meanwhile, the Pyramid of the Sun was strategically built over a network of caves, believed to serve as passageways for deities. The Maya honored their god, Kukulkan, with the Temple of Kukulkan in Chichen Itza, famously known as El Castillo. This temple features 91 steps on each side, creating a total of 365 steps, one for each day of the Mayan calendar. Now, you might wonder, how were these colossal structures constructed? The truth is, they were built by humans, not extraterrestrial beings descending from the heavens. One common thread among all pyramids is that they were constructed without advanced tools or even the wheel. A massive workforce, comprising skilled laborers and architects, was essential. For instance, it's estimated that around 20,000 individuals contributed to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, most of whom were skilled workers. Building pyramids was an immense undertaking, requiring years of meticulous planning and effort. The Great Pyramid of Cholula in Mexico spanned 600 years to complete, making it a fascinating tourist destination. However, speaking of risks, let's shift our focus to the treacherous realm of Mount Everest. The infamous death zone on Everest, where the altitude exceeds 26,000 feet and winds can whip up to 62 miles per hour, poses a significant threat to climbers. Those who brave over 16 hours here face life-threatening challenges, with 48 hours leading to almost certain peril. Remarkably, only one individual has thrived in this harsh environment, aided by supplemental oxygen. Yes, the precious O2 is scarce, and without it, survival time is limited to around 21 hours. This record holder, a formidable climber, reached the summit of Everest 10 times, with his quickest ascent taking just under 17 hours. However, Pemba, another skilled climber, shattered this record, ascending in an astonishing 8 hours and 10 minutes. But let's remember, these accomplishments are not feats for the everyday individual. They are the result of a genetic lottery, as both climbers are Sherpas, natives who have evolved remarkable adaptations for high-altitude living. Despite the evident dangers, climbers remain drawn to the death zone. Since the establishment of climbing regulations, the allure of Everest continues to captivate adventurers. The world of pyramids and high-altitude climbing illustrates the incredible human spirit to conquer challenges and push boundaries, leaving an indelible mark on history. The towering mountains have adapted remarkably, developing a natural resistance to the challenges of high-altitude living. Yet, despite the evident dangers, adventurers continue to flock to the perilous death zone. Since the first climbing records were set, over 300 lives have been lost in this treacherous area. Just last year, a staggering 18 individuals perished, and as of July 2024, the grim tally has now reached 8 more lives claimed. Now, as eerie as it sounds, the death zone on Mount Everest can be likened to a graveyard. The real challenge lies in the logistics of recovering a body from this hazardous location, a task that can cost families a small fortune. Just the oxygen needed to facilitate the descent can set them back as much as $20,000. This might sound outrageous, but let's break it down. The operation typically requires a team of 12, each needing an oxygen cylinder priced around $400. That's a hefty bill before you even consider other expenses involved. But it's not merely the financial aspect that complicates recovery efforts. The process itself is fraught with peril, leading many private companies to decline such requests. Recently, however, authorities succeeded in retrieving 4 bodies and a skeleton from this dangerous area. While not all identities have been confirmed, one body was found belonging to an individual who tragically lost their life in 2017, remaining in the death zone for 7 long years. Now, let's shift our focus to El Caminito del Rey in Spain. While it may seem like child's play compared to the Everest death zone, it has still claimed 6 lives, which is certainly a grim statistic. Picture yourself standing on a precarious wooden walkway that appears to be on the brink of collapse. With only 3 feet of width, mobility is restricted, and if you dare to look down, you'll see a river plummeting 330 feet below. You might want to sarcastically call it an engineering marvel, but in truth, it really is quite a feat. It appears as though this walkway was glued to the mountainside, and the construction techniques were rudimentary and unsafe, hardly surprising considering it's over a century old. You may wonder how such a pathway was constructed without modern machinery. The answer lies in the desperate circumstances of the builders, who were often prisoners sentenced to death. They were offered a chance to reduce their sentences in exchange for their participation in this dangerous project, provided they survived, of course. Originally, the walkway was built to connect workers at the nearby hydroelectric power plants with local waterfalls, a simple bridge to facilitate their transport of materials and maintain operations. Construction began in 1901 and was completed by 1905. In 1921, King Alfonso XIII famously crossed this pathway during the inauguration of a dam. However, by the early 2000s, the walkway had fallen into disrepair and was partially closed for over a decade. After 4 years of renovations and a cost of €9 million, it reopened in 2015, regaining its reputation as the world's most dangerous walkway, thanks in part to a few tragic accidents in the late 90s. Today, you can traverse a 1.8-meter path that clings to the edge of the gorge. Remember when I mentioned that El Caminito del Rey has only claimed 6 lives? Well, that number is likely just a fraction of the true total. Now, moving on to a cliff that may seem deceptively safe at first glance. It's actually known for a rather unique activity: cliff diving. Towering only 89 feet, It may not reach the heights of El Caminito del Rey, but it's certainly designed for daring jumps. If you were to drop a watermelon dramatically into the water below, it would create a spectacular crimson splash, resembling a scene from a crime drama, as it plummets at a staggering speed of 53 miles per hour. This begs the question, can a human withstand such a dive? Spoiler alert. Absolutely. Welcome to the world of Red Bull cliff diving, where fearless athletes take the plunge from heights comparable to an 8-story building. But before you consider trying this thrill-seeking endeavor yourself, let me tell you, it demands serious fitness. The better shape you're in, the better your dive will be. Additionally, your eyes become your ultimate navigation system as you take that fearless leap. The impact is no joke. If you dare to jump, you'll experience around 5 forces upon landing. For comparison, even during the wildest turbulence on a commercial flight, you rarely feel more than 1 G. The astonishing forces of nature. Diving into the blue hole and the eye of the Sahara. Have you ever felt the rush of adrenaline as you dive into the unknown? When you leap from a significant height, you might experience forces up to 5 Gs upon impact. To put that into perspective, during a turbulent commercial flight, you usually wouldn't feel more than 1.3 Gs. But plunging off a cliff? That's a whole different ballgame. Your heart races, working overtime, and suddenly, that 5G force can leave you feeling lightheaded. It's a surreal experience where your brain begins to feel deprived of oxygen, and in mere seconds you could black out. Blood rushes to your head, causing your face to swell, and your lower eyelids might obscure your vision. This curious phenomenon is called a redout, where all you see is a blinding glow from behind those squeezed-shut eyelids. Exciting, right? Now, while those dizzying cliffs may appear dangerous, there's a spot known as the Blue Hole in Egypt that's more accessible, yet equally notorious among free divers. With its calm currents, it might seem inviting for those looking to explore the depths. However, this seemingly benign location has claimed around 200 lives in recent years. Interestingly, the Blue Hole is just an average dive site in terms of risk. Nothing about it stands out to make it more perilous than other locations in the Red Sea. But diving through its arch, that's where the complications arise. This submerged tunnel has been the site of numerous accidents. While there's no official count of casualties, one source estimates around 130 divers lost their lives there between 1997 and 2012, with some suggesting the total could be as high as 200, including snorkel-related incidents. To enhance safety, Egyptian authorities have stationed a police officer at the Blue Hole, ensuring that all divers are accompanied by certified guides who know the area well. The arch itself lies at a depth of 170 feet, which requires divers to be well prepared and equipped. Most recreational divers typically max out at around 100 feet, so for experienced technical divers it's manageable but not without its challenges. The most significant concern? Monitoring your air supply. If you miscalculate your time underwater, you might find yourself needing more than 1 tank to surface safely. Failing to plan your gas consumption could lead to a dangerous situation where you run out of air just when you need it most. And trust me, that would not end well. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the Eye of the Sahara, a colossal geological structure in the Sahara Desert that resembles a giant bullseye. This formation is so immense that it can be spotted from space. In fact, back in 1965, even the CIA took an interest in it, planning aerial surveys to investigate geomagnetic anomalies. However, the findings remain classified. Could this be the fabled lost city of Atlantis? The legend of Atlantis, first recounted by Plato, describes a land abundant in greenery, characterized by 3 concentric circles of land encircling 2 circles of water. Interestingly, there are indications that Atlantis may not have been a typical island surrounded by oceans. Furthermore, it is thought to have had significant influences from both Africa and Europe, challenging the notion that it existed solely in the Atlantic. As astronauts gazed down upon the Eye of the Sahara, they initially suspected it to be the result of a meteorite impact. However, The ring-like structure closely aligns with Plato's description of Atlantis. And here's a twist. The Sahara wasn't always a barren desert. Approximately 11,000 years ago, it transformed from a lush tropical region to the arid landscape we know today. Researchers have uncovered evidence of a massive river called the Tamara, which could have supported a thriving community. Yet another connection to Plato's tales. The Trans-Saharan Sea, which existed 50 to 100 million years ago, is believed to have played a role in the destruction of Atlantis around 11,500 years ago, likely due to a rapid rise in sea levels following the Ice Age. NASA's satellite imagery has revealed patterns that support this theory. The concentric rings of the Eye of the Sahara might hold the key to unlocking the secrets of our planet's evolution over millions of years. These formations, shaped by erosion on resilient rock layers, create a fascinating pattern of ridges and troughs. At the center of this geological marvel stands a peak rising 1,300 feet. The central area has undergone significant erosion, revealing a circular formation with a prominent peak. Unlike typical impact craters, the Eye of the Sahara showcases striking balance and symmetry. While some attribute its shape to rock uplift sculpted by wind and water, others theorize it may be an ancient anticline revealed over time. There's also a theory involving salt's buoyancy, suggesting it played a role in shaping this stunning structure. Dating techniques indicate that the Eye of the Sahara formed between 541 to 252 million years ago, give or take a million or two. Scattered around the outer rings of this structure, near riverbeds, ancient tools have been discovered, hinting at the long-lost civilizations that may have thrived in this now desolate terrain. So, as we explore these two incredible sites, the Blue Hole and the Eye of the Sahara, we uncover not just their beauty, but the mysteries they hold about our planet's history and the remarkable stories they tell. What other secrets might nature be waiting to reveal? Imagine wandering through ancient landscapes where time seems to stand still. Scattered across the outer rings of a mysterious structure near riverbeds, you'll find remnants of ancient tools, some dating back thousands of years. Despite the discoveries of certain Neolithic spear points, evidence suggests that this area was primarily used for transient activities, like hunting and toolmaking, rather than permanent habitation. But the world is full of enigmas, and one of the most perplexing is found in Norway, the Hallingdal Light phenomenon, often referred to as the Valley of Lights. This isolated valley spans a width of 10 miles and is home to an unusual blue box perched atop a hillside, equipped with cameras that continuously scan the skies. The saga of this phenomenon began in the 1980s when the night sky erupted with fiery, burning fireballs that left witnesses trembling in fear. What started as a rare spectacle quickly evolved into a frequent occurrence, with locals reporting encounters with these unexplained luminous phenomena, some of which happened alarmingly close to their homes. As news spread, sightings surged to about 20 per week, capturing headlines in newspapers and magazines around the globe. Curious visitors soon flocked to the valley, eager to catch a glimpse of the lights for themselves. In 1984, experts joined the fray, armed with advanced instruments such as magnetometers and radiometers. What they discovered was astonishing. Lights that defied all conventional explanations. Some glided leisurely, while others shot up into the sky at incredible speeds of up to 19,000 miles per hour. Theories abounded. Were these lights airplanes, distant reflections, ball lightning, satellites, or meteors? Yet, the remarkable speed and erratic movements of these lights dismissed all such notions. Now, let's journey to another realm of mystery. Beneath the icy expanse of Antarctica lies the world's largest subglacial lake, hidden from human eyes for millennia. This lake, known as Vostok, sits beneath the East Antarctic ice sheet, approximately 2.5 miles deep under ice. Stretching 155 miles long and 31 miles wide at its broadest point, it reaches an average depth of 1,400 feet, making it the sixth largest lake in the world by volume. Picture an underwater city, characterized by towering pillars and deep basins, waiting silently for discovery. Although scientists first revealed its existence in 1993, this secretive lake has been collecting ancient secrets for over 2,000 years. In 2012, a team of researchers drilled through the ice, creating the longest ice core ever obtained, reaching the lake's surface. Then, in 2013, an unexpected twist unfolded when the tranquil waters erupted during the extraction process, mixing with drilling fluids. That same year, researchers obtained pristine water samples, leading to speculation about previously unknown life forms thriving in this untouched fossil water reserve, isolated for millions of years. Some even draw parallels to the icy oceans speculated to exist on moons like Europa and Enceladus. The idea of hidden freshwater beneath Antarctic ice sheets first emerged in the 19th century, gaining momentum with seismic soundings in 1955 that hinted at a subglacial lake. By the 1990s, satellite data confirmed the existence of Lake Vostok. It's not alone. In 2005, an island was discovered in the middle of the lake, followed by the identification of two smaller lakes, hinting at a secret network of subglacial rivers connecting these hidden bodies of water. Now, let's venture far from Antarctica to Venezuela, where the Catatumbo lightning phenomenon creates a stunning, yet eerie, light display at the confluence of the Catatumbo River and Lake Maracaibo. This extraordinary lightning event occurs between 140 to 160 nights a year, illuminating the sky for up to 10 hours a day and flashing an astonishing 280 times in just 1 hour. The frequency of the spectacle varies with the seasons, and in 2010, a break from January to March raised concerns that it might disappear forever. As the sun sets, winds from the east begin to intensify, creating what meteorologists call a nocturnal low-level jet, similar to patterns seen in the Great Plains of North America. These winds funnel moisture from the Caribbean and the lake itself, colliding with high mountain ridges and igniting thunderstorms. This dynamic weather pattern continues throughout the night, leading to the highest annual lightning rate globally in this unique area. Finally, let's uncover an astonishing mystery hidden within the Longyu Caves in China. These caves, adorned with lofty, slanted roofs and sturdy pillars, remained concealed for centuries. Built about 2,000 years ago, they revealed themselves only in the 1990s when local farmers drained ponds, unveiling 5 massive caverns. Subsequent digging uncovered 19 additional smaller caves, ranging from 60 to 110 feet in width and 26 to 50 feet in height. Archaeologists have since discovered historical artifacts from the reign of Emperor Xian of Han, dating back over 2,000 years. What secrets do these caves still hold, and how did they remain hidden for so long? The answers remain shrouded in mystery, waiting for curious minds to explore further. Smaller caves in this region stretch from 60 to 110 feet in width and soar to heights of 26 to 50 feet. Archaeologists have uncovered historical relics dating back over 2,000 years from the reign of Emperor Zand of Han. But how did these caves endure for more than 2 millennia without crumbling? Strangely, there are no ancient records detailing the methods used in their creation. The walls exhibit chisel marks, suggesting a meticulous layer-by-layer chiseling technique. Yet the exact construction process remains a puzzling mystery. Imagine stumbling upon an ancient city without stepping outside your home. In 1963, a man in the Never province of Turkey had just that experience. While renovating his house, he knocked down a wall in his basement and unearthed a hidden room. Curious, he continued digging and discovered a tunnel. This serendipitous moment led to the revelation of the Derinkuyu underground city. Derinkuyu stands as one of the deepest multilevel underground settlements in Cappadocia and all of Turkey. This architectural marvel features 8 levels, providing its inhabitants access to cellars, storage areas, chapels, a school, a study room, and various other facilities. All levels are interconnected by an extensive network of tunnels. It is believed that this underground city was constructed as a refuge, cleverly concealed from view. With a depth of approximately 279 feet, The complex was spacious enough to shelter around 20,000 individuals along with their livestock and food supplies. Interestingly, a 180-foot ventilation shaft served a dual purpose. It not only ventilated the underground city but also functioned as a well. This well provided water to both the villagers living above ground and those taking refuge underground. Remarkably, the inhabitants of the lower levels could cut off the water supply to the upper levels, protecting it from potential contamination. Designed for defense, the tunnels could be sealed from within using massive round stone doors. The passageways were exceedingly narrow, forcing potential invaders to enter one at a time. It seems the builders thought of everything. Archaeologists believe that the Phrygians were the original creators of these levels in the 7th century BCE, and later enhancements were made during Roman times when chapels were added. However, the golden age of Derinquiu occurred during the Byzantine era. So, how did these ancient people manage to carve out such intricate tunnels? The answer lies in the unique rock they worked with, soft volcanic rock. This material formed from a geological process that began millions of years ago, when volcanic eruptions blanketed the area in thick ash that eventually solidified. Over time, natural forces of wind and water eroded the softer parts, leaving behind only the harder elements. Fun fact: the fairy chimneys found in this region are also made of this intricately shaped volcanic rock, although they formed without any human intervention. Still in Turkey, my next destination is Çanakkale, where a myth came to life. For 3,000 years, many believed that Homer's Iliad was mere fiction and that the city of Troy never truly existed. Everything changed in 1863, when expatriate Frank Calvert uncovered ancient ruins in western Turkey, convinced they belonged to the legendary city of Troy. His assertion was later validated when Heinrich Schliemann excavated the area in 1868. Bringing the long-lost Troy back into the light after centuries of obscurity. Troy is a site of complex layers, having seen the rise of 9 distinct ancient cities built atop one another. Historians assert that its strategic location between Europe and Asia turned it into a bustling hub of trade and culture. This advantageous position made Troy a coveted prize throughout history. Following the Trojan War, the city was abandoned between 1100 and 700 BCE, only to be rediscovered by Greek settlers later, with Alexander the Great ruling over it for a time before Roman forces invaded. When visiting the site today, the first thing you'll notice is a replica of the iconic wooden Trojan horse, famously featured in the 2004 film. Next up is Lothal, where in the 1950s Lothal and several other Harappan sites were unearthed in India. These discoveries significantly expanded our understanding of the Indus Valley civilization. Lothal played a crucial role in this civilization, boasting extensive cotton and rice fields, as well as a factory for beadmaking. These beads were crafted from semi-precious stones like agate and were later found in Mesopotamia, providing evidence of Lothal's importance as a thriving trade port. Archaeologists believe that Lothal was integral to ancient trade routes, as evidenced by traces of agriculture, trade, and impressive urban planning. The remains of residential buildings, streets, bathing pavements, and drainage systems speak to the sophistication of early urbanization. The town was well constructed, with some houses featuring 6 rooms, bathrooms, a large courtyard, and even a veranda. Remarkably, Lothal also housed the world's oldest known dock, linking the city to the Sabarmati River and trade routes. Finally, let me take you to the ancient Mayan city of Calakmul, located in southern Mexico's lush tropical forest of the Tierras Bajas. From 500 CE to 800 CE, Calakmul was home to over 50,000 people, thriving in a vibrant and complex society. The river and trade routes of the ancient Maya. Did you know that the ancient Mayan city of Calakmul, nestled in the lush jungles of southern Mexico, once thrived between 500 CE and 800 CE? At its peak, Calakmul was home to over 50,000 residents, and when you factor in the surrounding districts, its population soared to an astonishing 1.5 million. Imagine a bustling metropolis that flourished for an incredible 1,200 years. It's believed that Kakm boasted more architectural marvels than any other excavated Maya settlement in the region. However, after 1000 CE, the Maya civilization faced a dramatic downturn. This once vibrant center of Mesoamerica was nearly deserted, leaving behind the remnants of its glory. Situated at the heart of the second-largest tropical forest in the Americas, Kakm is remarkably well preserved. Today, if you were to wander through its ruins, you could easily envision life as it was in ancient Mayan times. The site features impressive architectural complexes, intricately sculpted monuments, robust defensive systems, and sophisticated water management features. You'll find agricultural terraces, towering temple pyramids, and grand palaces, all alongside a variety of ornamental artifacts that showcase the complexity of the societies that once thrived here. The Mayans celebrated nature through their art, pottery, and rituals, leaving a rich tapestry of cultural expression. The enigmatic city of Tirionis Heraclean. Now, let's shift gears to a place that many believed was merely a myth. The city of Tirionis Heraclean. For centuries, this city existed only in fragments of ancient inscriptions and texts. What if I told you it had been lying in wait, submerged for millennia? In a remarkable turn of events, archaeologist Frank Gio and his team uncovered a colossal face peering at them from beneath the waves, revealing the lost city of Heraclean, located 4 miles off the coast of Alexandria. The ruins of this ancient marvel were astonishing. 64 ships, 700 anchors, and a treasure trove of gold coins awaited discovery. Among the most significant artifacts was a 16-foot-tall statue and the remains of an impressive temple. Imagine ceremonies and celebrations once echoing through the Temple of Ammon, now just whispers in the wind. Crafted from granite and diorite, these artifacts have endured the test of time, providing a fascinating glimpse into life 2,300 years ago in one of the world's most pivotal trade ports. Picture a network of canals, akin to an ancient Egyptian Venice, linking harbors, temples, homes, and bridges. Tirionis Heraclean served as Egypt's primary port for international trade and tax collection. The reason for its submersion remains a mystery, but archaeologists suspect natural disasters, likely a flood in the 2nd century BCE, caused the city to disappear beneath the waves. Afterward, Alexandria, founded by Alexander the Great, rose to prominence, overshadowing Heraclean. Once the main entry point to Egypt, Heraclean's glory faded until its rediscovery in 1933. Mesa Verde, a window into the past. Let's journey now to Mesa Verde, an American national park in Colorado, which stands as the largest archaeological preserve in the U.S. With over 5,000 sites, including 600 cliff dwellings, this area offers a remarkable look into the lives of its ancient inhabitants. The name Mesa Verde, meaning green table in Spanish, reflects the unique mountain formations with their flat tops and steep sides. Dating back to 7,500 BCE, a group of nomadic Paleo-Indians thrived in Mesa Verde, living as hunters, gatherers, and farmers. By the end of the 12th century, they began constructing the iconic cliff dwellings that now define the park. These remarkable structures serve as a testament to their ingenuity and adaptability. Consider this. There once existed a kingdom where ancient Egyptians traveled to acquire gifts for their pharaohs, much like an ancient shopping mall. This kingdom, known as the Land of Punt, was a treasure trove of luxury goods, including gold, aromatic resins, ebony, ivory, and exotic animals like leopards and baboons. For over a millennium, Punt was a vital trading partner for Egypt. Unfortunately, the Land of Punt has not survived into modern times, and its exact location remains a mystery. All we know about Punt comes from ancient records, particularly those etched on the walls of the temple of Queen Hatshepsut, who famously dispatched an expedition to this fabled land. For more than 150 years, scientists have sought to pinpoint its location, theorizing it could be southeast of Egypt, along the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, or even in southern Arabia. Recent studies of baboon mummies have helped researchers narrow down possible sites, reigniting the quest for this legendary kingdom. In conclusion, the tales of Kakm, Tirionis Archeological, and Mesa Verde offer captivating insights into ancient civilizations and their remarkable achievements. Each site, with its unique story, reminds us of the rich tapestry of human history that continues to intrigue and inspire us today. Unearthing secrets. From baboon mummies to ancient cities. Imagine a time when the mysteries of the past were waiting just beneath the surface, ready to be uncovered. Researchers have recently made significant strides in pinpointing the possible locations of the elusive land of Punt, a fabled region that might have been submerged beneath the ocean or extended across the Horn of Africa and into southern Arabia. How did they arrive at this exciting conclusion? The answer lies in an unexpected discovery. Baboon mummies. Did you know that ancient Egyptians held a deep admiration for baboons? They even believed these creatures were connected to the moon deity, symbolizing wisdom. Among them, the sacred baboon was often depicted in wall paintings, curled up with its tail to the right, and was mummified in this very posture. Another species, the olive baboon, was wrapped in a colossal cocoon. Both varieties were discovered in the tombs of the Valley of the Kings. However, if we recall our geography lessons, baboons aren't native to Egypt, so how did they end up there? They must have been brought through trade from distant lands. A team of experts, including primatologists, Egyptologists, geographers, and geochemists, meticulously analyzed the mummified baboons from two distinct periods in ancient Egypt, the New Kingdom period and the Ptolemaic period. They undertook an extensive study, examining tissues from 155 baboons sourced from 75 separate locations across eastern Africa and southern Arabia, believed to be potential candidates for the ancient land of Punt. By measuring the oxygen and strontium levels in the baboons' bodies, researchers could trace a geographic signature that revealed the areas where these animals had lived. When animals consume water and vegetation, their teeth, hair, and bones bear traces of their environment, thanks to the isotopes they carry. This unique method, known as isotopic mapping, unveiled that the New Kingdom baboons were likely from regions in modern-day Ethiopia or Somalia. Meanwhile, 5 mummified baboons from the Ptolemaic period displayed strontium levels consistent with those found in Egypt, suggesting that ancient Egyptians may have had a dedicated breeding ground for these creatures, possibly in Memphis, a city in Lower Egypt. As if this wasn't enough to pique your interest, paleontologists from New Zealand stumbled upon an astounding discovery when tidal forces split open boulders, revealing fossils of the largest penguin species ever to roam the Earth. Using laser scanners, scientists created 3D models of these ancient bones and compared them to the flipper sizes of modern penguins. Their calculations revealed something astonishing. While today's emperor penguins weigh between 55 to 100 pounds, the colossal penguins of the past may have weighed around 340 pounds, true giants of the avian world. These massive, flightless birds thrived in the oceans surrounding New Zealand over 50 million years ago, long after the dinosaurs vanished. Their impressive size allowed them to maintain warmth in frigid waters, and they likely traveled vast distances, scaring away any potential predators. Interestingly, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs also eradicated most large marine reptiles, leaving the ancestors of seals and whales still on land at that time. In 1992, a group of farmers in China made an incredible find while draining water from their ponds. They didn't stumble upon a ship filled with gold or ancient statues, but rather the mysterious Long Yu caves. These impressive caverns, created by human hands millennia ago, remain shrouded in mystery. Experts estimate the caves to be at least 2,000 years old, yet they are perplexed by the absence of any historical records mentioning their construction or purpose. Each of the Long Yu caverns is similar in design, featuring a single entrance connected to a vertical shaft with a carved staircase. Rainwater from the surface can funnel into these caves through the stairways, which are ingeniously designed with grooves and channels to manage drainage. It seems the ancient builders were remarkably skilled in water management. Perhaps modern towns could learn a valuable lesson from their expertise, especially when faced with flooding after heavy rain. These caverns lie beneath a hill named after a revered bird in Chinese mythology, symbolizing virtues such as grace and the harmonious balance of yin and yang. Scientists speculate there may be a connection between the caves and this bird, but for now it remains a tantalizing theory. Meanwhile, experts from the National Institute of Ocean Technology in India were conducting routine surveys for pollution when they encountered something extraordinary beneath the waves, a submerged city. Utilizing advanced sonar technology, they detected large geometric shapes on the ocean floor and retrieved various artifacts, including pottery, beads, sculptures, and even human bones and teeth. These findings hinted at a civilization predating the Bronze Age, possibly linked to the Indus Valley Civilization, known as the earliest urban culture of the Indian subcontinent. However, not everyone embraced this discovery with enthusiasm. Some archaeologists were skeptical, dismissing the findings as mere computer tricks. Even when faced with the overwhelming evidence of hundreds of artifacts, they remained unconvinced, attributing the ruins to an ancient river rather than an advanced civilization. What if the echoes of history are all around us, waiting to be uncovered? As we delve deeper into our past, who knows what other astonishing revelations lie just beneath our feet? An astonishing discovery, the underwater enigma. Imagine this. A team of archaeologists uncovers an ancient site beneath the waves, filled with countless artifacts. Sounds incredible, right? Yet not everyone is convinced. Some skeptics dismiss the find as mere computer magic, insisting that an ancient river might have transported these treasures from elsewhere. However, the determined researchers were not about to let doubt overshadow their groundbreaking work. They selected a piece of wood as their key evidence and, after thorough testing, discovered it to be an astounding 9,500 years old. This revelation could redefine the timeline of human history. Despite this compelling evidence, skepticism remains. Even after 23 years since the discovery, no definitive conclusions have been reached. The challenges are immense. Exploring this underwater site is perilous due to treacherous waters, strong currents, and riptides, especially during the brief Antarctic summer from late November to January. Meanwhile, a group of geologists from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee embarked on a daring expedition to the icy slopes of the McIntyre Plateau in the Transantarctic Mountains. High above the frozen landscape, they meticulously searched through the gray rocks in hopes of uncovering fossils from a time when the continent was adorned with lush green forests. Their efforts paid off, and by the end of their journey, they had unearthed fossil remnants from 13 ancient trees, each over 260 million years old. These findings suggest that this forest thrived at the end of the Permian period, even before the first dinosaurs roamed the earth. A staggering 90% of all species vanished during this time, including the polar forests. These resilient trees, able to endure the harsh Antarctic climate, ultimately succumbed to a dramatic spike in greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. This ancient Antarctic forest serves as a remarkable window into life before the mass extinction, potentially offering insights into its causes, while also highlighting the stark differences between prehistoric vegetation and today's flora. Now, think back to how easy it is for you to determine today's date. Just a glance at your smartphone reveals the day, month, and year. But was it always this straightforward? Did ancient civilizations even grasp the concept of a year comprising 365 days? The answer is complex. The Mayan civilization had a calendar system with cycles that closely resemble our year, but theirs was significantly longer, spanning 819 days. And here's where the intrigue deepens. 819 days compared to what? For decades, scientists pondered the origins and endpoints of the Mayan calendar. The breakthrough came in the 1940s when researchers managed to decode its mysteries. Recently, Two American scholars, John Linden and Victoria Bricker, unveiled a fresh perspective. They expanded the calendar cycles from 819 days to a staggering 45 years, 20 times longer than previously believed. This revelation sparked a new understanding of the intricate timekeeping methods employed by the Maya. Forget about the straightforward Arabic numerals we use today. The ancient Maya utilized glyphs, tiny images representing characters, much like the icons we see on our digital devices. When you spot a little dot with 3 curved lines above it, you instantly recognize it as a Wi-Fi symbol. Similarly, the Mayan calendar featured glyphs that depicted animals and natural phenomena. For instance, there were symbols for a jaguar and an eagle, each glyph representing a single day, and these cycles repeated 4 times. Let's refer to these 4 cycles as blocks. Interestingly, the Maya assigned different colors to each block, with red representing the east, white for north, black symbolizing west, and yellow marking the south. However, the 1980s brought unexpected revelations. Researchers discovered that their initial calculations were inaccurate. The colors corresponded to the sun's position in the sky rather than cardinal directions. Yellow symbolized the sun at its zenith, while white indicated its lowest point, known as the nadir. This realization highlighted the Maya's sophisticated understanding of astronomy. One of the most striking examples of this astronomical prowess can be found in the ancient city of Chichen Itza, located on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Here, an impressive step pyramid dedicated to the feathered serpent deity stands tall, perfectly aligned with celestial events. Twice a year, during the equinoxes in March and September, something magical occurs. The sun shines directly over the equator, resulting in equal lengths of day and night. On these remarkable dates, sunlight first illuminates the sculpture of the serpent head at the pyramid's base before cascading up the 91 steps. This awe-inspiring phenomenon creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid's side. Even today, crowds gather to witness this spectacle, which must have been even more breathtaking when the Maya completed the structure between 1050 and 1300 CE. Now, have you ever heard of the Attic period? Neither had I, but the Mayan astronomers certainly knew it well. The Attic period refers to the time it takes for a celestial body to complete a full orbit. For example, this includes the interval between 2 full moons. Isn't it fascinating how ancient civilizations were able to track time and celestial events with such precision? As we delve deeper into their discoveries, we continue to unravel the mysteries of our past. The concept of the Synodic period may not be familiar to everyone, but it was a crucial aspect of Mayan astronomy. So what exactly is it? Simply put, the Synodic period refers to the time it takes for a celestial body, such as a planet, to complete a full orbit in relation to the Earth. For instance, consider the period between 2 full moons as observed from our planet. This cycle typically spans about 30 days. The ancient Mayans were avid skywatchers, meticulously tracking the synodic periods of various planets from Venus to Saturn. They recorded data on nearly all celestial bodies. But how does this relate to their calendar? American researchers have unearthed fascinating connections through their calculations. Let's take Mercury, the planet closest to the Sun, as a prime example. Its synodic period lasts 117 days. If we multiply that by 7, what number do we get? Exactly 819. Yes, 117 times 7 equals 819. A remarkable coincidence? Certainly not, as the synodic periods of other planets also align neatly with this intriguing figure of 819. However, this pattern isn't immediately observable within a single Mayan cycle. Scientists had to expand their analysis multiple times to uncover the connection. The reason why this code remained indecipherable for so long lies in the researchers' focus on individual planets. The key was to integrate the Mayan calculations for all planets, allowing them to see the broader picture. This brings us to the year 2012. Do you recall the widespread belief that the world would come to an end on December 21st? It turned out to be nothing more than a misconception. Here we are, alive and well. But what sparked this false narrative? You guessed it, the Mayan calendar. The ancient Maya based their calendar on extensive cycles of all the planets, which involved a lot of complex mathematics and multiplication. The year 2012 simply marked the end of one of their cycles, known as the long count. Think of it as their equivalent of December 31st, just the conclusion of a time period they used to measure time. So, there was no reason for alarm. Those New Year's Eve celebrations might have been wild, but the world didn't end on January 1st. The Mayans were known for their innovative spirit, and this extended even to their mastery of rubber. Yes, you heard that right. These ancient people were producing various grades of rubber a staggering 3,000 years before Charles Goodyear made his mark. They extracted natural latex from rubber trees, a milky substance that could be transformed into rubber. Interestingly, they weren't alone in this venture. Scientists have discovered evidence that their neighbors, the Aztecs and the Olmecs, engaged in similar practices. But what did they do with rubber? While they certainly didn't need it for car tires, it was handy for crafting a stylish pair of sandals for the beach. The Spanish chronicled the rubber-soled footwear worn by the indigenous people, although archaeologists are still searching for these artifacts. A significant discovery indeed. The Maya had a playful side when it came to rubber. Researchers speculate that they fashioned balls from latex which were bouncy and varied in size, from softball to soccer ball dimensions. A typical Mayan ball game involved two hoops, but not in the way you might think. These hoops were positioned high on walls about 23 feet above the ground, significantly taller than the NBA standard of 10 feet. And the hoops were oriented in a unique manner too. But there's a sweeter aspect to the Mayan story: their love for chocolate. In fact, the word chocolate likely originates from their language, referring to bitter water. You might wonder why it was called water. After all, the Mayans didn't produce chocolate in the form we recognize today. They didn't create chocolate bars. Instead, they drank it. By smashing cocoa beans, they concocted excellent beverages, refining their recipes over time to include spices. Anyone up for a spicy chocolate drink with chili peppers and cornmeal? Who knows? It might have been delicious. Cocoa beans were so valued that they even served as a currency, allowing all social classes to enjoy this treat. Free chocolate for everyone sounds delightful, doesn't it? But where did the Mayans source clean water for their cocoa concoctions? They developed the oldest known filtration system in the Western Hemisphere, utilizing zeolite, minerals rich in aluminum and silicone compounds. Remarkably, modern air and water purifiers still employ this material. Once again, Mayan ingenuity shines bright. Back in Europe, Roger Bacon introduced a sand filtration system in 1627, a staggering 1,800 years after the Mayans had already figured it out. Now, what about regions devoid of rivers or lakes? The Mayan engineers had that covered too. They ingeniously harnessed rainwater by carving out large reservoirs in limestone bedrock. These underground caves were lined with watertight materials, and small channels were created to collect water from the hills above. Scientists estimate that just one of these reservoirs could hold an average of 10,000 gallons of rainwater, enough to fill 55 modern hot tubs. Consider this: Mohenjo-Daro was once a flourishing city during the Indus Valley Civilization, boasting features that were unimaginable for many other locations during the Bronze Age, including advanced water systems and intricate architectural designs. Yet, despite its prosperity, it somehow faded into obscurity. Even more perplexing is that at some point it was abandoned. The mysteries of these ancient civilizations continue to captivate us. The enigmatic city of Mohenjo-Daro. Did you know that one of the most advanced ancient cities remains shrouded in mystery? Mohenjo-Daro, located within the Indus Valley Civilization, thrived during the Bronze Age yet somehow failed to achieve the fame of contemporaneous urban centers like Babylon or Memphis. At its peak, this remarkable city boasted a population of at least 40,000 inhabitants, flourishing in a vibrant social, cultural, and economic landscape. Yet, in a twist of fate, it was abandoned around 1700 BCE, leaving us to ponder the reasons behind its sudden decline and the fate of its people. Imagine being an archaeologist in 1911, when whispers of unusual structures in the area led to the rediscovery of Mohenjo-Daro. At first, local Indian authorities dismissed these findings as lacking historical significance, causing the site to remain untouched for years. But in 1922, a dedicated local specialist believed he had uncovered a buried monument, igniting large-scale excavations that would eventually lead to Mohenjo-Daro being designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980. The excavations unveiled a city that was astonishingly modern for its time. Renowned as the best-preserved ruin of the Indus Valley, Mohenjo-Daro featured an advanced sanitation system that was unparalleled in the ancient world. Unlike the elite of Egypt and Mesopotamia who had access to basic sanitation, the residents of Mohenjo-Daro enjoyed hidden toilets and covered drains throughout their city. Archaeologists have unearthed over 700 wells, along with private baths and a grand communal bathing area. Remarkably, even individual homes were equipped with toilets, and waste was efficiently managed through a sophisticated city-wide sewage system. The residents of Mohenjo-Daro were keenly attuned to their environment. Nestled near the Indus River, they ingeniously devised robust flood defenses utilizing intricate drainage systems. Over the years, they produced exquisitely crafted pottery, jewelry, figurines, and other goods that were traded as far as Mesopotamia and present-day Oman. Archaeologists have noted the use of standardized building materials throughout the city, a testament to the meticulous craftsmanship of the time. Each brick was nearly identical, reflecting an impressive attention to detail that enhanced the city's aesthetic appeal. The people communicated using the Indus Valley script, a mysterious alphabet that could hold the key to unlocking more secrets of Mohenjo-Daro. This intriguing language employed symbols instead of letters and contained over 400 distinct signs. The challenge, however, lies in deciphering this ancient script, leaving many of its meanings still tantalizingly out of reach. The enigma of why the Indus civilization and Mohenjo-Daro came to an end continues to baffle experts. Some archaeologists speculate that a shift in the Indus River's course may have disrupted agriculture, leading to food shortages. Yet, there is no definitive evidence to suggest that flooding devastated the area or that it was abruptly abandoned. A mere change in the river's trajectory seems insufficient to account for the disappearance of an entire civilization. Mohenjo-Daro is not alone in its fate. It shares its story with other lost towns from ancient civilizations. Take Ross Island, for example, once celebrated as the Paris of the East for its stunning architecture and gardens. Today, however, it stands as a mere shadow of its former glory, with its structures increasingly reclaimed by tree roots and vines. As we delve deeper into the past, the mysteries of Mohenjo-Daro and other ancient cities beckon us to explore, offering a glimpse into a world that once thrived with life, culture, and ingenuity. What secrets might still lie buried beneath the sands of time? The ghostly allure of abandoned places. A journey through time. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie behind the crumbling walls of abandoned cities? The world is dotted with places that were once alive with activity, only to be left behind in the passage of time. One such captivating site is known as the Paris of the East, a title earned for its breathtaking architecture and lush gardens. Yet, this island, located just 1.8 miles off the coast of Port Blair, India, has now become a shadow of its former glory. Once a bustling jail, it transformed into a luxurious resort for administrators. However, after its closure in 1937, an earthquake wreaked havoc, rendering the island uninhabitable. Today, the Indian government oversees it, attracting curious tourists eager to explore its abandoned towns. What if I told you that another ghost town tells a story steeped in history? Welcome to Kalmanskap, a hauntingly beautiful remnant in Namibia, where echoes of German architecture still linger. Once a glamorous destination in the early 1900s, It was settled by German workers drawn by the promise of diamonds. The city boasted lavish amenities, including a ballroom, a hospital, and even a bowling alley. However, its fortunes waned in the late 1910s when a richer diamond vein was discovered nearby, prompting most inhabitants to leave in search of better prospects. Remarkably, the arid climate and low humidity have preserved the structures, allowing adventurous souls to visit this desert ghost town from the nearby community of Lüderitz. Now, let's shift our gaze to Hashima Island, a striking reminder of nature's power to reclaim what was once human territory. Famously featured in a James Bond film, this eerie island was established in 1881 for undersea coal mining. By 1959, the population peaked at 5,000, but by the 1970s, the mines shut down, leading to a swift exodus that resulted in total abandonment within just 3 months. Today, this once thriving island attracts visitors who marvel at deserted homes, swimming pools, shops, and factories, each telling tales of a bygone era. Did you know that the discovery of gold in a creek near Bannack, Montana, in 1862 sparked a population boom? In just a few short years, the town's inhabitants swelled from a few hundred to thousands. However, this rapid growth was soon followed by a sharp decline as gold was found in more lucrative locations. Bannack briefly held the title of Montana's first territorial capital, but its reign lasted less than a year before Virginia City took over. In 1954, the state of Montana acquired most of the land, transforming it into Bannack State Park, where visitors can now explore its rich history. Let's journey now to the ancient city of Petra in Jordan, a marvel half-carved and half-built into the surrounding rock. Once a thriving hub, Petra faced a decline due to poor governance, shifts in trade routes, and devastating natural disasters. Earthquakes damaged infrastructure and water systems, forcing residents to seek better living conditions elsewhere. For nearly 500 years, this extraordinary city remained hidden from the world until its rediscovery in the 1800s, captivating the imaginations of many. And what about Santorini? Most visitors to this picturesque island are unaware that it sits atop the remnants of one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history, the Thera eruption. Occurring about 3,600 years ago, the eruption buried the town of Akrotiri. Unlike Pompeii, however, no signs of human life were found, indicating that the residents had managed to evacuate before disaster struck. Now, let's delve into the ambitious yet ill-fated dream of Henry Ford, the iconic American industrialist. In 1903, he founded the Ford Motor Company, but by 1927, he was dreaming bigger with Fordlandia. This grand project aimed to establish a massive rubber plantation near the Tapajos River in Brazil, supplying rubber for his automobile tires and hoses. Ford envisioned a paradise complete with swimming pools, golf courses, bungalows, and even weekly square dancing. However, the plantation soon fell victim to a leaf fungus that devastated the trees, leading to its ultimate failure. Despite Ford's staggering investment of $20 million, the project never yielded the desired rubber, and in 1945, he sold the land to the Brazilian government. Today, the remnants of his ambitious vision stand as a testament to nature's reclamation, drawing curious tourists. Lastly, let's explore Sky City, an intriguing residential area in the suburbs of Hangzhou, China. Built in 2007, this ambitious project aimed to replicate the charm of Paris, complete with its own Eiffel Tower and replicas of iconic Parisian landmarks like the Opera Garnier. It also featured luxurious villas, apartments, a man-made lake, gardens, and parks. However, despite its grandiose plans, Sky City remains nearly deserted, as high costs deter residents. Still, it has become a picturesque backdrop for locals looking to capture stunning photographs that might just convince their friends they've landed in the French capital. As we traverse these abandoned places, we uncover not just remnants of architecture and infrastructure, but also the stories of those who once called these places home. Each site carries with it the weight of history, a bittersweet reminder of the passage of time and the relentless power of nature. So, the next time you find yourself near an abandoned site, take a moment to ponder the lives and stories that once thrived there. Just touch down in the enchanting capital of France. Can you imagine the thrill of stepping into a city that has inspired countless artists, writers, and dreamers over the centuries? Paris, with its rich history and vibrant culture, is a place where every corner tells a story.